Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on a Tuesday, I believe. July the 21st, 2026. Here I am, honey. Out in this muggy temperatures, overcast, running my errands and handling my business joyfully. Doing it because I enjoy what I do. And I enjoy what I'm doing. Even though it's very challenging because as I've said, I'm changing the way I live. And so I have to be a little bit patient because certain layouts are not working out as I had hoped they would. So I just have to keep revisiting certain layouts and make sure that they are aligned properly so that I can get the best out of this lifestyle. I wanted to come on through today and just talk about some things that that I am sensing and picking up. I haven't necessarily had a chance to see what's going on the news, but typically it's not really what's going on. It's what the major news outlets want to focus on. And so you have to read between the lines because a lot of things are just being left out intentionally and having people, just rinsing and repeating, doing the same things over and over again. And when I say rinsing and repeating, I'm talking about when it comes to solutions and resolutions. We have a lot, and I can sense it as well, a lot of climate destruction going on all over the world. Whereas I think flooding causes the most damage. But, you have earthquakes, you have flooding, you have fires, you have drought, especially when it relates to the water. We're talking about artificial intelligence and how people are against these data centers if they're in their backyard. Okay, you have to read between the lines because just like the unhoused or the poor or those struggling, these bleeding hearts do not want that in their neighborhoods. Do not come to their neighborhoods with data centers. Do not come to their neighborhoods with shelters and blah, blah, blah. Now, when it comes to shelters, I have an issue with the shelters as well because they say that these shelters are temporary. And what usually happens is when they're temporary like that, the unhoused who are undisciplined, usually they're hoarders, they have a substance abuse in one fashion or another, come in there, trash the place, drug, and they have drug material around, narcotics. But the main thing I keep telling people is alcohol. Alcohol does more damage, I believe, than all the other narcotics because alcohol is accepted, but a lot of people don't realize alcohol is a poison. You're poisoning yourself. But that's another topic in itself. Most people will not accept the fact that they cannot drink alcohol. You better get away from here. People will literally, figuratively and metaphorically, of course, fight you over the use of being able to drink alcohol. Now, I like alcohol too. I like, the the creamers, that creamer type of alcohol. But I'm talking about, we all know what it means to be an alcoholic and to drink excessively. A lot of people will really, really get bent out of shape if you tell them they cannot drink their alcohol. I can care less what you do, but I know it does affect the behaviors and actions adversely. My dad was an extreme, he was a heavy drinker, but he was a functioning alcoholic. Just as that is also in his DNA along his family line regarding the men. But they'll get all upset about that too if you bring that to their attention. People get really defensive about that. So, what am I rambling about today? Today I'm just making it very, very clear. It's obvious. It ought to be plenty of evidence to support that this country, this planet, this world is in severe pending catastrophic events that's going to, adversely affect so many people. Not just a few, not just 100. It's going to be up towards 100,000s, maybe millions of people. And I'm telling you, it has to do with our climate. So, again, all over the country, especially in the USA, there have been construction projects that have been going on since, I guess since the 70s, or maybe even since I was born, where there's all this construction going on, And I told you that's part of the rinse and repeat. Let's not necessarily fix it to where it's a permanent fix. Let's just band-aid it. And that's what's happening. Let's just band-aid it, and something's going on here. But anyway, let's just band-aid it, put a band-aid on it, and let people have this illusion that progress is being done. And that's what's happening as well with the mediocre man. The mediocre man wants to give you the illusion and delusion that they're making, that they are progressing. But deep down inside, the mediocre man does not want to change. The mediocre man does not want to change. The mediocre man believes that he is perfect as he is. He doesn't need to evolve. It's the status quo. That is what the mediocre man. They don't necessarily want development, but again, they want to give this illusion that they want development. They want everything to stay the same. They're mediocre. They're boring as fuck. They're just a dull set of human beings. Okay? And so many people are around it and secretly admit that they are bored to death, literally, with these mediocre men who are constantly projecting onto other people about their behaviors and actions, but they do not want anyone entertaining their behaviors and actions or lack thereof. So there's a lot going on. Please do everything in your power to develop a strong discernment to observe, monitor, whereas no one has to know you're doing this. Make these mental observations of somewhat of a discovery, and see if you can enjoy the process. It's like, wow, why are we doing this? What is the purpose of this? Why does this work? Why doesn't this work? See if you can activate your consciousness to assist us with finding solutions and resolutions and getting us out of these spin that we've been in for millennia, especially since the 1700s, more, to be perfectly honest. And there are records of our necessarily stagnation, in the 1700s, where everything, there's no progression, no evolution of the consciousness. Is degeneracy, is deviancy, degeneration, and dangerous behaviors and actions. Okay, so I'm almost at my destination here, and I'm going to send love, peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. It is about universal love, despite what's happening. I know it's hard to love someone when they are behaving and acting as they are. But don't look at it as a personal thing. It's not about you personally anyway. It's about universal love. Universal love is neutral. And you just have to learn how to neutralize the behaviors and actions that we all are kind of mixed up in, while at the same time working on changing your behaviors and actions and getting yourself out of these spins of degeneration, deviancy, not evolving. You are unevolving is what you're doing, because we were progressing as a species, and that's why I said I say a pending extinction, but now I'm more strongly agreeing with what I'm observing, that the extinction is going to happen. That is not a goddamn thing anybody can do about it. But there's always survivors when there's these kind of events, as long as the planet doesn't explode in itself like one planet did. There was a planet that was completely destroyed by humans, of course, and the remaining, there were some that were they survived, and I'm not going to go into how they survived, but they ended up on planet Earth, of course. But there was this one planet called Malona, where the humans somehow put water, I'm not sure if it was from the ocean or where, into the chambers of the volcano, and caused the volcano to cause a catastrophic event. Whereas that planet was blown to pieces, and that planet, the debris of that planet, the material debris of that planet, is in our solar system. It's a material belt circling our solar system. That is pieces of a destroyed planet. Let's see if the scientists can figure that out. Peace and love, and trust me, I will be back.